Hello everyone, thank you for dropping in to my channel and to my subscribers. Thank you so very much for following my channel, and I hope that I can offer you insight into what is considered normal, experiences that are considered outside the boundaries, such as premonitions. I wonder if you believe in premonitions, or are they just coincidence? That's a good question. What I have found in my life is that there are premonitions that make one wonder what really is in the world that we can't see, that we feel, that we hear, and can't explain why. There are, I suppose, medical conditions where people hear voices and they follow what the voices suggest they do. But I'm not talking about a medical condition, a diagnosed medical condition. I'm just talking about the spiritual world that we experience, whether we recognize it or not, as being a premonition or coincidence. In my case, I like to put them in the category of premonitions. And I have had several instances where I don't search for these things. They find me. And it is unnerving, and it can be quite traumatic, as I'm about to explain to you about a premonition of a death that I had when moving into my first unit. My father helped me move my furniture, and my sister and my mother did the packing at one end, and my father and I did the unpacking at the unit. This was a Friday, and I was so excited because I was 22 and I was going into my very first unit as a grown-up person who was going to be responsible for her own bills, cooking, and being a responsible human being. And I was excited by that. And we all became very tired by the end of the day. And my sister stayed with me that night because it was the first night that I was in a very strange unit with strange noises and being on my own for the first time. Now, as I say, we were tired, so we had something to eat. My parents were at home, and my sister and I had a very enjoyable evening, and we toddled off to bed. And all I know is that during my sleep, I had a dream that consisted of my father laying in a coffin, and I woke screaming, hysterical, shaking, And my sister, who was extremely panicked by what I was doing and saying, I told her about the dream. And she quieted me down and said, well, it's just a nightmare. It was just something that maybe had been playing on your mind from a movie or something that somebody said. And I accepted that because I wanted to. I didn't want for what I had just dreamt to be true and to become real. But 8 days later it did. On the Saturday following the Friday, 1 week later, a friend of my mother's came to get me because I didn't have the phone on at that particular time. So a friend came and told me that my father was ill, that he'd had a heart attack. And so I quickly went home, and he was still at home. And we called the doctor and we said, should we take him to the hospital? And the doctor said, no, just keep him calm, gave him some medication and said that if things did get worse, to ring an ambulance straight away and they will admit him to hospital. Well, we sat with my father for hours until the point came where he said he'd had enough. What do you say to your father when he turns to you and says that he has had enough? Please take me to the hospital. So we did. We called the ambulance. The ambulance took him with lights and sirens to the hospital. I followed the ambulance in my car with my mother and my sister. They saw to him straight away. They gave him all the medical attention that they could, but they said to us that the prognosis was very poor, that the damage done to my father's heart was unrepairable, and we should spend time with him. And we went to see my father, and my father said, "Go home, because I don't want to die with you here." Oh. So we waited a few hours, and my father said he was very tired and he wanted to sleep. So we left, and he died. He died how he wanted to. So the Sunday was the 8th day since I'd had that dream. And on the Monday, I saw him in the coffin. That has haunted me. As you can tell, I am 72, going on 73. I was 22 And I still cry whenever I think about it, whenever things on television, movies, plays, narrations of premonitions that people have. And it's all right if you don't believe. It's all right. I do not have any say, and I don't know if they are premonitions, but that's what I term them to be. So I just thought I would share to people who have, I don't know if it's an affliction, I don't know if it's a preparation that's given to you as a gift to prepare you for the sorrow that's going to follow. But this is true, and it also happened one further time, more recently, and if I get the strength, I will share it with you, but only if I can, because I have never been the same since having that dream. I have never been the same since the passing of my father. I went back to the unit and I lived there by myself for well over a year. And it was like a cocoon, actually, because when the grieving process was over, I was different. Part of me had changed. And once again, just recently, when I had a very similar experience, I changed again. A little bit of my soul was taken when my father died, and a little bit of my soul was taken when my mother died. And that is another heartbreaking episode in my life that I will share, so that people who experience these premonitions, you're not alone. There are many, I'm certain of it, there are many who experience these life-changing preparations. That's what I'll choose to call them. Of the grief that you need to be prepared for. So I'm sorry that this is such an unhappy episode for you to view, and if you couldn't see it to the end, I see no reason. If your heart desires that you don't look, well then that's your safeguard that you have to protect your own emotions. But for people like me who have experienced this, there's no time frame. There is no saying, well, this is going to happen soon. This is going to happen in a year. This may happen in 2 years. And in that time, the back of your mind, you are always searching for the answer of why was I given this picture, and what am I to do with it? What am I to do with the emotions that have arisen because of this. And I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Nothing can prepare you for the death of anyone you love. But it happens, and it happened again. So I will leave you with this, just the thought that once again, someone in the realms that we can't see know what's going to happen, and they want to warn you to be prepared. And is it a gift? I don't know. But it does prepare you, because you do constantly have it going in the back of your mind. But it's changed me for the better. I don't know. I'm not as joyous. I'm aware of feelings and spiritual happenings and dreams. That may be why I'm so restless of a night, that I walk in my sleep. Maybe that has something to do with it. What am I searching for? What have I lost that I'm looking for? It's something to think about. But I thank you if you have watched my video to the end. I thank my subscribers, and I hope if you have visited me, you'll do it again. So I say thank you, and bye for now.